Okay, going to demonstrate how we create a invoice from a completed work order. It's fairly straightforward. I'm going to do one actually that has a couple of issues with it so that we can resolve them in this video. But first of all, we want to go to the work order list and we want to look at work orders that are completed but not invoiced. So I think there's a filter, completed and not invoiced, which means that the status is complete, and then if you look over here, invoiced is no. Right now we have 123 of these, and of course we create 10 or so a day based on the activities of the technicians. I happen to know that I'm going to work on a particular customer, so for me it's easy to just say customer, and I'm going to do Frank's Golden Meadow, which is customer 512. Now I search for 512, so if the customer contains 512, the name, which it does in this case, for two completed work orders that are not invoiced. Now today is December 8th, and I've got work orders for December 6th, just a couple of days ago, so really hadn't had a chance to verify the timesheet on that one. So I'm really only going to do this one invoice right now, and it's the work order number is 12382, and that's important, 12382. So actions, create invoice, and usually when I get in here I look at a few things like the work order date came over here as the work ship date, and it put 4 hours of labor on this one automatically. What did we do here? I don't know. So I typically go into menu and then details, and it says deli case, and Garrett called, we want service on Friday, deli case leaking, and then this is what the technician, in this case Johnny, did. And we can tell who the technician is by going to the work order list. But nonetheless, a couple things I like to do: put a carriage return on the beginning of this, and at the end to put a period. It just spaces it out on the invoice and makes it look nice. There's really nothing wrong with this. So once I do that, I'll save it. Now that's going to go on the invoice, these details, and I have an idea of what's going on with this. Then I want to look at the reimbursables for this particular work order. Remember, it was work order 12462. I think that's right, but even if I can't remember, no, it's actually 12382. So let's go back to this reimbursables 12382. There it is. That's the one I want to use. And typically, if we come to this reimbursable and there's anything in the history, well, we need to either use it or get rid of it. So this one's been out there for quite some time. So let's figure out where this came from. Work order 9792. Was it billed out? Well, I don't know. So let's go back to my work order list. This time I'm going to search by number, and I'm going to type in 9792. I don't see anything. That's because I have completed not invoiced, where that one has been invoiced. So I need to say show all. There it is. So let me drill into this one. Double click it, and it'll bring up the work order, and then let's see, did we create a invoice from this? We can find that out by going menu and then work order history, and there's the invoice, and double click on that. We should be able to see whether or not that labor was charged, and there's 1 hour labor. Let's go back to this reimbursables. Look at that, 1 hour labor. So this has already been invoiced. And this is for the other work order that we're not going to do. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to hide this one because I know it's already been billed out, and I'm going to hit save. Now it brought that 4 hours onto this invoice. But notice it already brought 4 hours, and sometimes this happens where you get two indications. I think one comes from timesheet, one comes from the work order. But nonetheless, we only need one of them. So I'm going to delete the one that came originally. I'm going to change this truck charge date to the 25th. of last month, since that's when it was actually done. Now all these tie together. I know that this was a repair, so department has to be repairs, and then the sales rep is also always the technician, in this case Johnny Rivers. And I'm done. That one is going to be billed out today and due in a month, and I'll hit save and close. Now this is the invoice that showed that charge from 219, and before I close it, let's just go look at reimbursables, because we know reimbursables had those other two items. One of them I hid, one of them I used, and this remaining reimbursable is for that work order now that is not invoiced. This actually I need to go and say completed and not invoiced, and put this customer back in here, 512. You can only have one window open at a time of the same thing. Now before, I had two work orders that I had to invoice. Of course I invoiced one, so one's remaining, this 12462, and notice that the time for this 12462 is also sitting out there. That's fine. We can leave that reimbursable and that work order alone, and we'll get to it soon. And I think we're done, so I just close that reimbursable. I'm not changing this invoice since it's from prior period anyway. I don't need to look at this work order anymore, or this. So just close all that out, and then we're back to our normal navigation. And that is it. Actually, let's go take a look at that invoice and what it might look like. So if I go to invoices and I want to look at 512, and it's the only invoice out there now. It's this one. Let's just let's look at what the invoice looks like. So print preview invoice, and it looks nice. Look at that. We've got invoice. Notice the little period. Spaced it right. I got a little space at the top. Has the technician, due date, has a work order date, invoice date. This is a beautiful invoice, and that our customers would be happy to pay. That'll do it for now.